It's Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, and I'm Dave Sobel. 4 things to know today. OpenAI completes its shift to a $100 billion for-profit giant tied tightly to Microsoft. AI agents like OpenAI's Atlas are becoming new security threats as identity gaps emerge. The live Fire Windows Server vulnerability is being exploited with no updated guidance from Microsoft. And Microsoft 365 Copilot takes a leap, letting users build apps and automations on their own. Each story reshapes how MSPs must think about governance, security, and control. This is the business of tech. Well, the headline news is that OpenAI has officially transitioned its primary business into a for-profit corporation, marking the end of a prolonged legal process. Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings approved this restructuring, which allows OpenAI to raise capital more effectively while still operating under the oversight of its original nonprofit entity. The company has reorganized its ownership, granting Microsoft a 27% stake in the new for-profit structure, valued at over $100 billion. In return for this stake, OpenAI has agreed to purchase an additional $250 billion in Microsoft Azure cloud services, although Microsoft will no longer hold a right of first refusal on new OpenAI cloud workloads. This agreement also includes provisions for artificial general intelligence, which will now require verification from an independent expert panel before any declaration is made. The change facilitates OpenAI's path toward developing AGI and ensures that an independent panel will verify that. The nonprofit arm, now named the OpenAI Foundation, plans to allocate $25 billion toward health initiatives and cybersecurity efforts. However, some critics argue that the nonprofit's independence may be compromised under this new arrangement. Why do we care? Well, it's official. OpenAI is now a for-profit company. Delaware signs off, and the days of pretending it was a nonprofit research lab are over. Microsoft walks away with 27% ownership, and OpenAI promises to buy $250 billion worth of Azure cloud time. And the whole thing's valued north of $100 billion. Sure, there's talk out of an independent AGI review panel and $25 billion for health and cybersecurity, but let's be real. That's all window dressing. The real story is that OpenAI is now fully commercial and tightly wired to Microsoft. For providers, this means one thing. If you're building with OpenAI tech, you're building on Azure. Expect the ecosystem to get more closed, more enterprise-focused, and more expensive over time. The good news? Knowing that helps you plan. The smart play is to get fluent in Microsoft's AI stack, but keep an eye on open alternatives so you don't get locked into a single vendor's future. This episode is brought to you by ControlMap. Growing MSPs are using ControlMap to build recurring revenue by expanding their GRC services. Starting now, ControlMap is offering a free plan for MSPs looking to get started with providing compliance as a service. Create a free account and run an assessment. Track key items like policies, risks, and evidence in one place. It's a practical way to prove value to a client before deciding to expand your compliance offering. Try ControlMap for free today. Visit scalepad.com/Dave to get started. That's scalepad.com/Dave. And as I start in with the security stories, OpenAI's Atlas browser and similar AI agents are vulnerable to manipulation, according to research from cybersecurity firm SPLX. The study highlights how malicious actors can exploit these vulnerabilities by serving different content to AI crawlers, potentially launching smear campaigns or presenting false job qualifications. For instance, a test showed that a fictional candidate could receive inflated credentials when viewed by AI, allowing her to outperform other candidates despite having weaker qualifications. Additionally, a survey by the British Standards Institution revealed that only 17.5% of U.S. business leaders have an AI governance program in place, indicating a significant gap in responsible AI use compared to global counterparts. Bleeping Computer highlights a significant security gap in zero-trust architecture concerning AI agents, which are increasingly being used in organizations. These AI agents, capable of making decisions and accessing systems without direct human intervention, often operate under inherited credentials, lacking a clear identity or governance. According to Token Security, this creates risks as these agents may appear trusted but can act as security vulnerabilities, leading to potential breaches. The National Institute of Standards and Technology's AI Risk Management Framework emphasizes the importance of identity in managing these risks. It suggests organizations must map, measure, manage, and govern AI agents with a focus on identity governance to mitigate threats effectively. Without a trusted identity, security teams struggle with accountability when breaches occur, making it essential for organizations to embed identity controls into every phase of AI deployment. Ransomware payments have reached a historic low, with only 23% of breached companies agreeing to pay hackers' demands. This decline continues a trend observed by Coveware over the past 6 years, where payment rates has previously peaked at 28% in early 2024 before dropping significantly. The decrease is attributed to organizations strengthening their defenses and increasing pressure from law enforcement not to pay ransoms. According to Coveware, over 76% of ransomware attacks in the third quarter of 2025 involved data exfiltration, marking a shift toward double extortion tactics. As larger enterprises bolster their security, threat actors may increasingly rely on social engineering techniques to gain access. The United States has opted not to join over 70 countries in signing the UN Convention Against Cybercrime, a significant treaty aimed at establishing a global framework to combat digital crime. According to the UN Secretary General, cybercrime costs the global economy approximately $10.5 trillion annually, with the convention recognized as a crucial instrument to enhance collective defenses against the threats. The treaty addresses various issues, including terrorism and human trafficking, and introduces the first global standards for electronic evidence. However, the convention has faced criticism from tech companies and human rights groups who argue it may infringe on privacy rights and enable authoritarian practices. Why do we care? AI agents are turning into a new kind of security problem. Researchers say OpenAI's Atlas browser and others like it can be tricked, fed fake data, or doctored resumes, and the AI believes it. At the same time, many of these agents inside organizations don't even have a real identity. They borrow credentials and operate unchecked. That's a zero-trust nightmare, because if your AI can act but not be tracked, who's accountable when it screws up or gets hacked? Now, add in a bit of good news, ransomware payments are way down, but don't relax too much. Attackers are just changing tactics, stealing data instead of encrypting it. And while over 70 countries just signed a UN cybercrime treaty, the US didn't. So expect more global fragmentation on rules and enforcement. MSPs need to get ahead of all this. Build governance around AI agents, track their identities, and help customers treat them like users, not magic boxes. Because AI isn't just helping businesses, it's now part of the threat model. A critical vulnerability in Microsoft Windows Server Update Services is currently being exploited, posing risks to multiple organizations. According to the Google Threat Intelligence Group, there have been around 100,000 instances of exploitation in just the past week, with the vulnerability allowing unauthenticated actors to execute arbitrary code on affected systems. Despite the urgency of the situation, Microsoft has not updated its guidance to reflect the active exploitation, leading to concerns among cybersecurity experts. The vulnerability affects Windows Server versions from 2012 to 2025 and stems from insecure deserialization of untrusted data. Experts warn that the potential consequences of these attacks could be catastrophic for downstream victims, particularly for those that have exposed their WSUS instances to the internet. As such, immediate action is recommended to mitigate risks associated with this vulnerability. Why do we care? This one's bad and it's live. That Windows Server Update Services vulnerability is getting hammered. It lets attackers run code on your servers, no login needed. And here's the kicker. Microsoft hasn't updated its guidance yet, even though Google says it's being actively exploited. That's unacceptable when WSUS is the system pushing updates to machines you manage. If that gets compromised, you could be distributing malware instead of patches. So don't wait. Lock down your WSUS, take it off the internet, check your signatures, and verify your patch workflows. It's one of those moments where wait for guidance is the wrong move. Act now, or risk becoming the delivery system for your client's next breach. And speaking of AI agents, Microsoft has introduced a new feature within its Microsoft 365 Copilot, enabling users to build applications and automate workflows quickly. The newly launched App Builder allows employees to create apps using existing Microsoft 365 data by simply describing their needs in natural language. Charles Lamania, president of Business and Industry Copilot at Microsoft, emphasize that the outputs remain secure and integrated with the 365 data. Additionally, the Workflows agent can automate tasks across various services like Outlook and Teams, streamlining processes for users. Currently, these features are available exclusively to Microsoft 365 Copilot customers enrolled in the Frontier program. This follows Microsoft's recent commitment of expanding the Copilot app's reach, including its planned automatic installation on Windows systems outside of the European Economic Area. Why do we care? So Microsoft Copilot just got a promotion. It's not just answering questions anymore, it's building apps. The new app builder lets employees describe what they need, and it spins up apps or automations right inside Microsoft 365. There's also a new Workflows agent that ties everything together across Teams and Outlook. It sounds powerful, but here's the catch. Chaos follows fast when anyone can build automations. Think shadow IT, but with AI. Governance, compliance, and security, those just become MSP problems. Right now, it's only for Frontier program users, but you can see where this is going. Microsoft wants Copilot everywhere, including auto-installed on Windows. If you're an IT provider, this is your signal. Start managing AI workflows before your clients' employees start managing themselves poorly. This episode is supported by FlexPoint. Looking to ditch Connect Booster or legacy payment tools that slow you down? FlexPoint is the independent billing and payments platform purpose-built for managed service providers. With fast QuickBooks syncing, branded portals, credit card fee pass-through, and automated subscription billing, FlexPoint streamlines invoicing without locking you into contracts. Clients get financing options. You get faster cash flow, less manual work, and full control, without the bloat or uncertainty tied to big acquisitions. Trusted by MSPs as a Connect Booster alternative that listens and delivers, FlexPoint is built to serve, not to scale for someone else's exit. Schedule a demo now at getflexpoint.com/MSP-radio. Thanks for listening. Today is National Internet Day, National Oatmeal Day, and Bob Ross's birthday. Business of Tech Plus subscribers are going to get a bonus segment about D&H Distributing's new move to position as an enterprise-class distributor. Want more from the Business of Tech? Join Business of Tech Plus for ad-free episodes, early interviews, extended cuts, subscriber-only shows, and exclusive member perks and analysis. Sign up at businessof.tech/plus. And follow this show in your podcast app, and if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe and the bell so you never miss a story. Reviews and comments help spread the word too. Interested in advertising? Head to mspradio.com/engage. The Business of Tech is written and produced by me, Dave Sobel, under ethics guidelines posted at businessof.tech. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next episode.
Part of the MSP Radio Network.